Using a 19mm socket, let's go ahead and remove our lug nuts. If your vehicle is equipped with a hubcap like ours, go ahead and grab that hubcap or center cap, pop that off, grab the wheel, pull it off, and set it aside. Now, I went ahead and we put our ignition key in the on position. That way there, we can go ahead and manually turn the wheel without it locking. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these bolts on the back side. This is 12mm. We're now going to go ahead and remove our brake caliper. Using your pry tool, go ahead and separate the caliper from the caliper bracket. You want to support that. You don't want to have tension on this flex line here. I'm going to go ahead and pop our brake pads off. Using a 17mm socket in your ratchet, I'm going to go ahead and loosen and remove the caliper bracket bolts. You remove your caliper bracket and set that aside. Now, if your brake rotor has these set screws here, there might be one down below as well. You want to go ahead and use a Phillips head screwdriver. Loosen this. If your vehicle does not have this, it is not critical to the operation of the vehicle. Is simply placed there to hold the rotor to the hub on assembly. Good, remove that, grab your rotor, put that aside. Now what we're going to do is remove our brake caliper from our hanger. And we're going to do two things. We're going to set up our brake compression tool right here. And what we want to do is set this up so we can go ahead and push this piston in. When we go to do so, we also want to open up this brake bleeder so we can release the pressure from the backside of the piston. When you do so, brake fluid is going to come out of this, so you want to make sure that you have a catch can or some towels or rags underneath to catch this. Once that piston is completely pressed in, like that, nice and flush, let's go ahead and tighten up the bleeder screw. Give it a quick wipe. And then we're going to hang this back up. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take your pry tool, go ahead and pop off our brake pad sliders right here. And repeat for both sides. Next we have our slider pins right here. You want to go ahead and check those out. Make sure that they're both free moving. They are. We're going to go ahead and pull the sliders out like so. And ours do have a good amount of grease on them. What we're going to do is we just want to go ahead and wipe these down, do an inspection, see if there's any rust, any buildup or anything like that that's on here. We're going to clean them, apply a fresh coat of grease, and then reinstall. Now you want to pay attention to the design of these here, as this one here is different from this one. When we clean this one down, this one has a bushing on the end or a seal. You want to make sure that that goes in the same position on that caliper bracket as it came out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be spinning this bracket around in all different positions to work on the bracket. You want to pay attention to what position the slider pin went into. So what we're going to do is we're just going to mark this side here with a yellow crayon so we know that this is the side that that bolt goes into, or the slider pin itself. So you want to go ahead and do a visual inspection of the slider boot. Make sure there's no tears or slices in it. Do the same on both of these here. Ours look to be in good condition. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and grab our boot, and we can gently separate that like so, and do this for both sides. Do a visual inspection inside. You're going to look for a rust, build up, or anything like that. Now if you have one of these bristle brushes right here, we can run this down inside. Do the same on this one here. Gonna flush it out with some solvent to clean this out. Now what we'll do is we're going to take bristle brush, wire brush, and we're going to clean where the brake pad sliders go, or the shims. Once again, inspect for any rust buildup, any big chunks. If there are, go ahead and use something a little bit more aggressive to clean that. Ours look pretty decent, so we're just going to use our wire brush here, and we're going to repeat for both sides. All right, now that we have that all set, we're going to apply a small dab of grease in here. And repeat for the other side. Go ahead and take your new shims here, line these up, press those down into place. And go ahead and repeat for the other side. I want to go ahead and install our rubber boots. Just line these up, work those in. Repeat for the other side. I want to take our sliders, the spot that you had marked, that's where this one is going to go. Apply a thin coat of grease. And go ahead and put a little bit of grease inside this boot as well. Line up your slider and go ahead and work that in. The boot will pop on. There you go. And I'll repeat for the other side. All right, go ahead and grab your brake rotor. You want to go ahead and make sure that you spray these down with a solvent to get any of the shipping oils removed off of it. Don't forget to do it for both sides. I'm going to go ahead and line up our brake rotor and slide that into place. I'm going to go ahead and line up our brake caliper bracket. And we're going to get our bolts started. Let's go ahead and snug those down. Let's go ahead and install our outboard brake pad. And we'll repeat for the inside. We'll install our inboard brake pad with the squeak tab at the bottom. I'm going to grab our brake caliper. Bring our hose up and over. Just get our bolts installed. Once we snug those down by hand, we'll snug those down with our ratchet. Now as we're trying to tighten this here, our slider is rotating, so we're just going to grab that. Once it's snug, just give it a little extra more. There you go. Let's torque down our caliper bracket bolts to 79 foot-pounds. Torque down our caliper bolts to 25 foot-pounds. If you have your brake rotor screw, you can go ahead and install that. If you don't, that's totally fine. And just snug that down. Go ahead and install the wheel. Now, if your vehicle is equipped with the hubcap that locks on with the lug nuts, you want to go ahead and locate the notch in the hubcap for your valve stem. Line that up. And we'll get those lug nuts started. I'm going to go ahead and snug down the lug nuts. Let's go ahead and torque our wheel down to 80 foot-pounds.